Hey gang, this is Fillmore, just letting you know that if you enjoy our podcast, quite frankly, a Howard Stern podcast, and you'd like to donate some money for the upkeep, or you want to request certain clips, please donate to our Patreon page at patreon.com/JimFix. That's JIMFIXX. You can donate as much as you want for as long as you want. There's absolutely no obligation.
And he made
I don't know a guy who's ever left here that has left on a good note, no matter how.
Sure they have.
Yeah, like who?
Scott Einziger.
No, Scott Einziger.
He left on a great note. We were still friends.
You know, the chance that you'll be leaving at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I started to look to the future and say, you know,
I'm going to ride my bike around the world.
and this trip kind of developed. So,
can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I got to tell you something. As a career guy, you're at the age 25 is when you should be developing your career. I mean, listen, I'm not going to be so much of a narcissist where I say you have to do everything I did. But it seems to me if you're going to develop a career, to take 3 years away from your career and to just bicycle.
Oh, yeah, you can do without it.
Well, you know, that's what people said when Billy left. Billy left the show, that was the end of the show.
Billy who?
Exactly. How come a certain other person is no longer with the show who I just couldn't care less about?
When did you have your interviews? During the day?
How am I supposed to find a new job?
I don't know.
Send out smoke signals?
See how anybody would leave that job that you have with us. There were 2 deaths on this day, actually. George Harrison being one, and the career of Scott Einziger, our former executive producer of E!
Is this his last day?
Today's his last day. He's going off to be the producer of a show called The Amazing Race, which is dead fourth in the ratings. It seems like a great career move. Goodbye, old buddy. Good luck.
Dear.
Hey, you know what, though? Mel was talking to me about that. He goes, John's a traitor. I go, really? What is that all about? He goes, look, he said, what you did for this guy, there was nobody on the planet. He couldn't pick up the phone and call you beforehand or go to you in the hall. He goes, at least say to you, hey, something's up. Jay Leno's a big con man, rip-off guy. I'll be in. I'm not going to be in.
I am. It breaks my heart.
Yeah, breaks my heart. If it breaks your heart, you find a way to keep working here. So we're going to play Win Jackie's Money.
Depending on how big the department gets, I do stuff on my own, and I also have a crew that does stuff with me, and I can also hire freelancers, depending on how much business we have.
Well, that's a good job.
I'm heading up the department.
Big shot. Fuck you.
Maybe your boss there will read your It's bittersweet. I'm
Just like
sad.
Con.
Yeah, how could you leave us?
Recently, I've come up with a different approach to how I want to do television for, going forward, for the future and how we distribute it. And so we are going to be shutting down our Howard TV service.
Oh.
But the good news, that's the bad news. The good news is I have some exciting news to announce about our TV plans.
Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to QF, a podcast about Howard Stern. I'm your host, Fillmore, a.k.a. Fillmore Fingers, a.k.a. Jim Fix. And with me, as always, is the often imitated, never equaled co-host supreme, Sam. Say,
who the fuck's imitating me? Happy 2021, everyone.
Liza Minnelli at least doing an impression of your impression of her mother. So yeah, it's happy 2021, guys. We decided we were going to do something a little different, something we'd had in the down the pike that we were going to do ages ago. But again, we have so many ideas, and a lot of them get not lost in the shuffle, but put in the shoe litter box, and we got to find them.
We think about this. We know we want to come back to it. It's a toy box of a sort. We put them away. And now we want to pull this toy out and play with it. So get ready.
Exactly. So we're going to do a series of awful farewells, and I hope you like the Photoshop. I had to throw the Sound of Music. That was the first thing that came to my mind.
Oh, that's so funny.
Wiggy as Little Gretel. There's a series of staff members over the years who have left the Stern Show, and they left under circumstances in which they got better gigs, or they just wanted to do something different, and either way, he was going to shit on them. So the one we're going to tackle today is Scott Einziger, who was his producer when he was at E, and then I believe he was replaced by Robin Radzinski at the end of 2001. Artie had just signed on, a couple months earlier?
Yeah, it was
September.
they were
It was after
how long
September.
were they
After
together before?
who?
I'm trying to think. Artie and Einziger.
They weren't. Artie wasn't there long because this particular clip comes from 11/30/2001, so it's
Okay.
November, end of November. So there's a, and if around that time, guys, there's clips of them having a farewell party at Scores and all birthday and stuff like that, and then even like dinners and Howard. And when we say shitty farewells, it's like he does not only does he not wish them well, he does. He's like, you're going to fail. This is awful. What a stupid move. You're not going to be with the cutting edge show anymore and all this. And now that we've done the NPD shows, we just know that it's just jealousy. It's jealousy and you can't take people leaving him.
I mean, I equate it to picture. It's the end of your, junior year, and you're like, "Hey, you want to sign my yearbook?" And somebody signs it. Go fuck yourself. Fuck your summer. And I hope I don't ever see your fucking face again.
Die.
Good luck on exams.
Anyway, so he got.
And you're like, what?
Yeah, he got a gig.
I thought we were friends.
he got a gig with The Amazing Race. And in that particular year, he won the first Emmy for Amazing Race for a best reality show or whatever. I think they had made the special, and they made that category especially for reality television, and he won it. And then they won it for like 9 more after that. And he has a bunch of reality gigs under his belt since. But I got in touch with Richie Wilson and I asked, because when we interviewed Richie Wilson, which, by the way, everybody, thank you for the positive comments. We didn't realize we get that positive response from doing the interview, but it was pretty outstanding. I asked him what's he been doing since 2015, if he knows anything, because on the IMDb it stops at 2015. But up until then, it's loaded with reality television, producing and what have you. So this is what Richie said. He did work for the WWE briefly, and then he came back to work for Howard again. So this would have been most likely late 90s, if I can recall, because I don't recall him coming back to work for Howard after he left. So unless maybe I'm wrong, but there's no listing of WWE in his credits. After that, he did the Am I Hot show, which resulted in a lawsuit. We know that. Then he went to work on Amazing Race and won a few Emmys. Got divorced, then everyone pretty much lost contact with him. Sort of became a recluse, allegedly, from what I understand. So that's there's a couple interviews. There's one on chocolife.com, becoming an independent film producer, which is, I guess, what he's doing now, as far as we know, if he's still alive. And it's a long interview. It's pretty good. I'll read some clips of it at another time. And then there was a lawsuit that he dropped against. He dropped against his some agent, Michael Camacho, a couple weeks before the trial, and it was having to do with this place called Relativity Real. And he said it was a toxic workplace, and he put a suit, like a $10 million suit, against this Camacho guy.
And then he dropped the lawsuit?
Yeah, it says, Michael and UTA represented me competently and diligently as my talent agent for many years. As my agent, they always acted with my best interests in mind. In addition to being a trusted advisor, Michael was a friend. It says, as sometimes happens in a relationship, we had a series of misunderstandings that escalated into regrettable litigation. Because I'm uncertain whether I would have prevailed and I want to end this dispute, I've decided to drop the lawsuit. I do not wish Michael I do not wish Michael or UTA any harm and hope to conduct business with him in the future. Really weird. That sounds that the way that's worded, it sounds very, I don't know, like he might have lost it. Anyway,
you know what? Doesn't that sound like, when you have a drunken argument with somebody, and you're just like, you look at your phone and you're like, fuck, did I just say I wanted to sue you?
It does.
Did I draft up a lawsuit in my drunken haze on accident?
Yeah, it seems a little like scattered, that whole lawsuit. But who knows? Maybe he was told by other people, do it, man. You'll win. Who knows? So we have no way of contacting Scott that we know of. Although Gary Puppet did give me his telephone number ages ago, and I told him calling him. Gary Puppet found them. I mean, like people have contacts in the whatever yellow pages, white pages online, and he found them and he said, "And if you want to use this," I'm like, this seems a little creepy.
Oh, of course. If it has Gary Puppet's name on it, it's the king of creep, but I don't mind it. I mean, I just think it's hysterical. What was the one where he was texting, who's that girl?
That was Beth.
Howard. Who Howard's, she's obsessed with Howard, and she had the cancer and had her, the mastectomy, and Gary Puppet thinks she's super hot.
Yeah, Jillian Barber. He was texting Beth.
Yeah.
He had a burner phone, and he texted Beth as Jillian Barbary. And when he sent me the tweet, I fucking cried laughing for 5 minutes because the exchange goes something like, "Hi Beth, hi Beth. Would you? I'm in town for for the weekend. Would you like to get together for lunch or dinner?" And then Beth responds, and it's Beth's real number. Excuse me. Who is this? It's no Jillian. She goes, "Jillian?" I said, "Barbary."
Hi.
And then she goes, "Oh, that sounds great. Let me know, whatever." And I go, "This is a little
Gary.
too much." Only Gary Puppet. I hope he doesn't mind me telling you this one, but I'm pretty sure he won't mind too much because
it's so great.
He's lost so many accounts. He's made so many Twitter accounts.
I know. I swear to God, he's like Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie where he's like a million identity con artist.
Perfect, just perfect. And recently, and always his Photoshops are outstanding. So can't give him enough praise for that. But anyway, so Scott Einziger left to go to do The Amazing Race, and at that time, I looked at the numbers. They were still getting about 10 million viewers in 2001, and it plateaued a little bit, maybe 11 million, but on average 10 million, and I think it's still on.
I don't know if it's still on, but I know that Howard was so wrong with saying that it wasn't going to be successful. I mean, they panned this like it was going to be, Son of a Beach, but...
And so he anyway, he just basically wanted to be a producer, and that's what he ended up being. Like, he started financing independent films as well. So that might be what he's still doing now, and I wish him well. If anybody knows Scott, or anybody knows him, listens to this, or if he does, please reach out, Scott. We'd love to interview you. Not even about the lawsuit, which you might not be able to talk about, but the stuff you've been in just in terms of the business, because I would find that fascinating, just on a human interest.
I love showbiz talk.
Yes, totally. So, and he's got, like I said, that interview on chocolife.com is becoming an independent film producer. It's really fascinating. It's a really good read, even though the transcribing is shit. But, welcome to 2021 journalism.
Mm-hmm.
So we're ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, let's give it a shot.
There were two deaths on this day, actually. George Harrison being one, and the career of Scott Einziger, our former executive producer of E!
Is this his last day?
Today's his last day. He's going off to be the producer of a show called The Amazing Race, which is dead fourth in the ratings.
You never say dead fourth. Dead last makes sense. Dead fourth? No. And fourth in the ratings? If you're in the top 10, that's amazing. How do you spin that into a failure?
The wonderful comebacks of Howard Stern on the fly. On the fly Stern is the fucking worst.
Man, this show is dead second in the ratings.
I know. You know what? Like, I was thinking about that. If you even were on TRL and a top 10 countdown, your video was considered a fucking success. You're number 4 on a TV show in national ratings. And do you know how many fucking television shows there are? It's not like it's 1950.
No,
there's hundreds.
Like, if you were a record artist, if you're a recording artist, and you had nothing but number 2 albums your entire life, I think you'd take it.
Nothing but number 2. Dead 2.
You think Boy George and Culture Club, when they were held off the number 1 by Michael Jackson, went, "Fuck, we only sold 8 million copies." Howard was right. We never should have recorded anything. We should have stayed here with this diminished production values and shit pay, and hoping to going down to a soup kitchen and hoping for handouts.
What a nice way to end his Scott's run on the show, by the way. That's a good way.
Well, the other thing is, according to what I read, and like I have all the audio and I've listened to it, they would hang out. And according to Richie, after they both got divorced around the same time, the first time, I guess Scott's been since divorced when he got married again with, I forget her name, but they hung out, like they had like a social life. They were drinking, they were carousing together, whatever. And then this is him leaving to get a better gig. So he's really losing one of his girlfriends.
I know. I mean, too bad he couldn't get invited to like the Ralph Casey transvestite porn jerk off time that they had.
And he's going to miss
I'm sorry, Scott, you're missing out.
He's going to miss the magician New Year's Eve party.
Ooh. Yeah, that was a hoot. Everybody, midnight, get the fuck out.
I couldn't believe that.
Merlin, go home.
I couldn't believe that Michael Rappaport dropped that. And then it was like literally 15, 20 years after he'd been with Allison, they hired a magician for their party when they were leaving Washington.
You know what? Beth was doing magic tricks all night. She put some coke down and it disappeared.
Well, she was definitely doing tricks, that's for sure. So here we go, guys.
Anything to mock Beth at any chance.
Why not? May as well swing at the beach ball first.
It seems like a great career move. Goodbye, old buddy. Good luck.
Here.
Robin Brzezinski is taking his place.
Is this my send-off?
Yeah, I know you get mad at me when I say this, and I don't understand why.
I'm not mad. I know there's an on-air Howard and an off-air Howard.
Right.
And the off-air Howard has been very
lied to your.
well, maybe, but I'm gonna.
Robin in her narcissism, it just does have these grains of truth sometimes that are so fucking hilarious.
Well, she blurts stuff out. She has no filter when it comes to some of these things on the fly.
Yes.
Yeah.
The on-air Howard is the real Howard.
Oh, I do too. I think you should have learned that by now after all these years.
But
I wish you the best, buddy.
Okay,
I think you will make Amazing Race great.
Okay.
It's
already a great show.
I know that a lot of people aren't interested in it, but I think once you get seen full time, everything's going to change. And buying a house in LA makes a lot of sense.
Didn't buy.
I mean, what? It's just such an asshole thing to say. I mean,
it is.
Not only is that extremely personal, could you imagine if somebody went up to him, hey, you know what? Buying a $50 million palatial mansion for you and that horse you married, that makes a lot of sense.
This is almost, you're right. He's almost giving the zip code.
Right. Being neighbors with Jeffrey Epstein. Good idea.
The helipad is a brilliant touch, brilliant stroke of genius. Well, anyway, so it's so he moved to LA, and so did Stuttering John, of course, when he did the when he went to the Tonight Show and got there was a clip of already visiting him in LA, the Stuttering John's house overlooking the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
And
wow,
you could tell
that's a long fall.
It is a long fall.
Cockroach infested apartment with linoleum.
That Star Wars $500 Star Wars poster is both prominently in the back there that he bragged about for years.
My house
Rented.
This sounds like the off-air Howard, which is the fake Howard.
No, I know you rented a house. And I think that's a great move. Moving.
You gotta live somewhere. What's he gonna do?
Yeah, well,
And once you work on a network show, I believe all the other network shows will want you.
Okay.
I think your thinking is really sound.
I hope you start taking a meeting immediately after you get there.
thank you.
This has got to be.
Go ahead.
What a condescending prick. Yeah, your thinking, Howard, is really sound. You were given how many chances for a network show, and what did you do? You put fucking crates on a stage and a King Tut's chair, and dressed up in leather and acted like an asshole and grilled Joe Piscopo with some floozy dancers on stage. Yeah, that's a brilliant opening. You're thinking sound too, Howard.
I will say, at one point, I felt the same way when around that time. I also thought that reality television had a very short shelf life. I really didn't think it would last because, fads do, like, especially on TV, certain fads do come and go. But apparently it really did strike a chord with people because they're still around, shitloads of them.
See, this is the funny thing about thinking. We have an age gap. So I think my dad thought more towards your leaning. And because when you're a teenager or like a young teen during this time, when reality shows came out, just like every fad, you think it's going to be there forever. It's just a part of your zeitgeist. And you think that now this is what TV is going to be like. I never thought it was going to go away. I always thought, okay, so this is just the new thing. This is just the next thing. But a lot of people thought like you, like, what is this? This is just going to go away.
Well, I didn't think reality television would go away. I just thought it would get to a saturation level where they'd go back down to having one or two. Because I remember, for example, Who Wants to Marry? Sorry, not Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire. What's the one? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? The Regis show.
Yeah, I like that show.
They went to like 4 to 5 days a week, and it was overkill. People saw too much of it. And eventually it did go off. Around the world, it had all kinds of incarnations. So, I'm sure they're not in the poorhouse. But I thought Survivor, for example, would have a shelf life. No, it's still there. And that's to a testament to the producers, because they managed to keep it fresh enough for people to watch 20 years later. It's pretty amazing.
I dipped off after like 5 seasons, but I was a huge fan of that in American Idol for like 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And those were like the original, like sort of reality.
Yeah, like the big 3, absolutely. And then the cooking shows, of course, became sort of, second tier, but big in their own way. Like Hell's Kitchen. I used to love watching Hell's Kitchen because it was such a put on. But then Kitchen Nightmares with Ramsay, I love that one even more. Let's keep going.
The biggest bonehead move of all time.
It's a flashback to 2
Before
Thursdays
people
ago.
realize what's going on, you better find yourself another job.
People say to me, "What's with Scott leaving?" I go, "It's the biggest bonehead move, bigger than Jack."
Hold on, isn't that people? We know Howard speak now. People say really is I say.
Yeah, these are the same people that are begging Beth to do TV spots,
or
the same
pose
people
for
who
Playboy.
Yeah. These are the same people who are asking him to host game shows.
Yeah, people. I have a friend who ...
Lots of trans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Stop! How can it be bigger than that?
Well, what's he doing? He's going on a show that nobody likes.
Yeah, at least he has another job.
Well, that's true.
A lot of people like the show.
Where?
Oh, in England.
Howard, you've never even seen the show.
No, The Amazing Race. I heard it's good, but it's like nobody cares.
Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, Robin. All of a sudden, then she just turns everything. I was liking her, and then it takes 2 seconds for her to go from somewhat likable to immediate cunt. It's like she is so brutal.
Well,
who? Well, how about you get a job on another show, Robin? Oh, wait.
I have a question for you regarding this. We know, okay, she's firmly lounged in a lawn chair in Howard's asshole, so that's not surprising. But do you think she's afraid he's gonna give her shit because she didn't like double down with him, or you think it's just by rote, it's nature? Oh, Howard's against someone, I gotta be against them too.
She's obviously so used to being the trained, dog for him.
Trained flying monkey.
Yeah, for sure. But then also, I think it's fear. Like Robin, I think tried over all this time to get away from him, like at some point, like a book or a talk show or whatever. Yep. And she realizes, I'm not going to be anything without him. So,
I think so. Yeah.
I better just get in line and start screaming at people.
Right. Because the way Stuttering John explained it in his book, and again, guys, I hate dropping stuff like that and then not doing a full coverage of the thing, because his book really does deserve a little bit of discussion, which we'll do when we do just about everything else that we have planned. He says Robin told him flat out before he left, look, you got to do what you got to do. He won't meet with you, so it's your business. You've tried. He wouldn't do it. And then when he went on the air for that last day, she's like, I can't believe he's leaving a cutting edge show to go with Jay Leno. Meanwhile, she went on the Tonight Show and said, I'd love to be your co-host.
I know. Do you think Scott Einziger, like, how he's saying this on air and he's saying, people are telling me what a bonehead move. Do you think Howard at all approached the subject with him personally as a friend, or do you think this is just he's held it all in and now it's his last day and it's time to shit on Scott?
The latter.
Okay.
The latter. He's really upset with him. The whole time they've been going out for dinners, going out to Nobu for free fucking fish and whatever else. He just get like, man, I'm really happy for you, whatever. Totally bottling it all up and waiting for that last day because he's now in studio. Now he can shit on him, and he's got all of his minions helping him out. And Artie's not. You notice Artie, you never hear him, almost never hear him because it's early on in his tenure. Like
I do notice that.
He's not going to say anything. And also, Artie's listening to him going, I got a network. I was on a network show where I got 35,000 a fucking episode. And for, way less work. I know what I left. So I'm not going to fucking shit on his gig. There's just no way. And he knows Scott's going to be making way more fucking money where he's going.
And eventually Artie wants more money too, which unfortunately he'll never get.
So the way Artie explained it a long time ago, he said this was a base salary when he got there. So I'm thinking he made literally $300 a year at the Stern Show, 300 if that. And so he was making way less than he was making on TV for sure. And when they went to Sirius, I did the number crunching. He probably made double that because there's hints. Over the years, he had talked about how much they're making from this or that, and how he said, I tripled my income. You start adding up numbers that they throw out there, you can figure out pretty much roughly what they're making, and they're all underpaid.
Oh, 100%.
When they were doing like ratings, when they were still on terrestrial radio, and he was making all these fucking millions, they were seriously underpaid, especially Bowie. Well, not really Bowie, not for the amount of talent he had. But anyway, let's keep going.
I tried to watch one. I did. I said, all right, another reality show. I taped it. I couldn't sit through the first episode.
Try next Wednesday at 9 o'clock.
We'll all try. We're all pulling for you, buddy.
Thanks.
You could say that for the next 10 hours. There's no one's going to tune in. What are you going to do when it fails? Honestly, do you have a contingency plan?
I'm confident in my abilities. I'll get another gig.
To do what?
Good for you.
And he did. He was on the Amazing Race for one season, then he went on and did other things. And look at his IMDb, and I'm sure he got paid handsomely for being a producer or executive producer or creator.
Yeah, so when people are, Howard gets upset about this New York Post article about him being a miser, a shitty boss. Here you go, guys. There's just hours of this. He's a terrible person.
He really is. And this is like, you guys want to say, well, this is just him goofing, but the goof should last about like one or two jibes. It shouldn't take 20 minutes of go fuck yourself. You're a failure. This is going to be a horrible failure. And then talking about what you don't know about when the show's clearly a hit. It's a hit in terms of 2001 ratings. I mean, it's not a hit compared to, I don't know, Cheers, but the landscape changed, and 10 million is a hit in 2001. It doesn't even get you in the top 20 back in, in the 80s, but that's, different time.
No kidding. Like, even if you were, say, a streaming service and you're in the top 10, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I looked up our numbers, for example, for the podcast, and apparently, according to the numbers listed by a few sites, we are in the top 5% of podcasts.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, I just wonder I just would love to know what the bottom 10% listeners.
I know what they must sound like.
No, I'm sure there are other shows out there.
He can substitute teach.
What do you think you're going to do, though? You don't write shows.
I'm a reality producer. It's reality TV.
A reality producer?
I produce reality.
You have one reality show, Amazing Race.
No, what I'm saying is I'll do another.
This is a talk show.
I'll do another reality show.
Oh, and you have to write one. You have to invent one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is the nonsense. Go ahead.
And do you know how hard it was, from what we heard from Richie Wilson, how hard it was to cover this reality show known as the Stern Show? Because you had his fucking ass picking his teeth, picking his nose, his eyes darting back and forth like, a fucking, like ping pong balls, like boop, 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 boop. He had to, Scott Einziger, he does have talent. He's been doing this for a long time. And so now he's doing The Amazing Race. Why do you got to shit on that? I don't get it.
I'm going to read from the article.
Wouldn't that make him bad at his own job if Howard's shitting on him like this now? I mean, then
Yes.
why'd you hire the guy and have him on for all these years if he was such a talentless piece of shit?
Well, same with Stuttering John later on when he went on Corolla's show and he shit on Howard, and he said he stuttered. That's all he did. Well, then why were you so fucking upset when he left? Why were you treating him like shit? Why were you allowing people to pile on him because you knew that's what you wanted because you were jealous? You can't have it both ways. He's valuable,
No.
you pay him accordingly, or he's not, and you discard him. You can't, he was your boss until it was raise time. It's like, oh, I don't pay you. I'm not paying you. And then all of a sudden, hey, look, I'm the one who's responsible for you getting money. He wanted to be responsible for the person having the job, but not being responsible for their salary. Bullshit.
Right.
Yeah. So this is from this article I just mentioned before. I'll read this Scott Einziger part. He said the CBS was looking for someone to help produce the show. He's like, I have a job. I'm responsible for running Howard's show. My agent at that time, his response was, this is about your future. I don't specifically remember how I convinced my boss at E! Or Howard that I was going to stay in Los Angeles, but I do recall that I was pretty transparent about my desire to move to Los Angeles. I don't think it was a huge surprise. I literally moved into Oakwood Apartments at Marina Del Rey and lived in an edit bay for a month, I think. My assignment was to cut episode 12, season 1, of The Amazing Race. That was my test. Based upon the quality of the first cut, meaning how many notes I was going to get from CBS, and Gen, this is the guy's name, Gen Maynard, I guess he was the bigwig, would determine if I would get the job. I got the job. It was bittersweet leaving Howard, but I ended up on a big production. Jerry Bruckheimer's name was attached, and I was in it. So, Jerry
Right.
Think about it.
I mean, right. Could you imagine Artie saying, I'm going to go work on a Francis Ford Coppola movie and
Right.
Howard shitting on it? I mean, that's the extent of, if that's what you want to do in your professional career is reality television and produce it and you get that job.
Mhm.
How could he shit on this?
Jealousy, just jealousy, and you're leaving me for a better gig. That's it. We talked about it many times. If you can't feel pride that someone went upwards and onwards beyond your show because maybe of the experience they got there, if you can't feel any kind of pride, then you're essentially a hateful person at your core.
Where are you going to get?
You have one?
No, I'm
Or you
focusing
go to
right
work
now
for
on
someone,
Amazing Race.
or you're fixing Amazing
No, I'm
Race.
focusing right now on Amazing Race. I'm not thinking about.
And then after that is canceled, you're going to go focus on another show.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm not really looking that far down the line. I'm looking,
Well, you must be rich. You must be independently wealthy.
What the fuck?
Wait a minute. Why do you have to be independently wealthy to go get a better job?
Because of the security you need from being independently wealthy, that you'll never starve when your job fails. That's the logic.
I mean, didn't this asshole go to Detroit to New York? I mean,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? How did you know, Howard, that you were going to succeed when you were going from station to station? It's like anything else in life. He's such an idiot.
Well, I understand shitting on something that's silly, like the video caddy that Scott DePace was talking about. I love that clip when they were just mocking him.
Me too.
Or Gary sells his collection, and when the time he said bustier, Bootsy, or whatever it was.
Oh my God, I love when they were doing Gary's MTV video. That is so fucking hilarious and deserves to be mocked. But this, I want a better paying job in a field that I actually care about. You have to be independently wealthy to get a better job. Okay.
Makes perfect sense.
It's got a lot of scratch.
After he fixes the
I'm a good
Amazing
saver.
Race, what's he going to fix next?
What show are you going to do?
Dude, I don't know. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do next?
I'm set.
Okay.
What are you going to do? You're getting married? You want to have kids?
Yeah. So
You had another 4 years locked on this.
There's gonna be other shows. I'm confident.
What other show will there be?
I'm sure the television business, or if I
What
come
do
up with
you
some
do?
brilliant idea.
You don't do.
Did you just hear what he said? We got another 4 years locked on this, which was it takes him to the end of 2005 is what he's talking about. But he's like, why are you leaving us? That's essentially what he just admitted.
I like how he's like, what other shows are there going to be? It's show business. Have you heard of pilot season? There's a million fucking shows that get come on and off television.
Yes.
Every year. What is he talking about? He acts like it's this, gridlock of shows that are only certain positions. It is the most ever-changing landscape of people and employees ever in show business. And Howard's like, what are you going to do? What do you mean?
Well, it actually shows more like, obviously it's just him being a jealous cunt, but it really is him showing his IQ as well, because he doesn't know about the business. We know this. He's failed more TV projects than, I don't know, like what's his name? That John Cryer, who did 2.5 Men. Before he got 2.5 Men, he must have been on, I don't know, 20 failed shows. He was the patron saint of failed TV shows before he got lucky and made his millions. So it's a crapshoot. Hee Haw was one way back when that everybody said this is going to tank, and it was a huge hit.
I know. It's just like, but the logic is so faulty and makes absolutely no sense. He's a fucking buffoon. And I love how Scott Einziger turns it around and says, what are you going to do?
Yes, absolutely. And because the other thing is he knows.
Answers, literally, if you had a thought bubble, it would be a milk carton spilled over in Howard's head and just pouring out on the floor. He's got nothing.
Well, this is the other thing that made me laugh, because Scott Einziger addresses it in this Chocolate interview, whatever, on .com. He said, we had the #1 rated show at E, but that's kind of like when you have 3 shows on E and you're the top rated show, it's not really, and you're not on every net. Like E was not that huge at that time, at any time, really. It was, if there was the big 3 back in the day, E would not have been anywhere in spitting distance of them, just in terms of syndication, like in terms of national exposure, because not everybody covered E.
I know, so when Howard was big on E, like you said, it was the only real mainstay on the show. There wasn't that much.
No.
It wasn't really anything. And then the other part, Joan Rivers really made E in my eyes.
You mean her daytime talk show?
Her E Fashion Police and all of her red carpet coverage, to me, that was more important than Howard's show. I mean, Howard's show was part of that landscape and building the channel for sure, but Joan Rivers took that to the next level then.
Well, at any rate, his show went through so many incarnations. It's hard to argue that he really was that crucial to any of them. But I mean, I'm sure he had some value to them. But this guy's going to CB fucking S, not E.
Jerry Bruckheimer?
Yes. It's not like he's going to a fucking, I don't know, independent, like a German film star. German film director.
Why are you talking about Beth's career?
We'd like to hire you. Okay. Can you do some editing for us? Yeah.
Can you wear a push-up bra and suck on this blow pop? Somebody's gonna curl your hair and put some eyelashes on you, sweetie. Guys, if you saw that picture, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And her face could not look any more horsey like.
Anything different than I could do? What do you sit and watch videotape and edit it? You're making a mistake.
Okay.
If I tell you it's a mistake, it's a mistake.
George Harrison.
John, am I right? I know. You can do the Diary of Pink.
Howard, can I ask you a question? Is he walking away from a lot of money here? See, I wouldn't know. See,
yes, he is.
Howard's quick to say yes, but he knows he's not making that much fucking money there.
And John's not asking that because he thinks the answer is yes.
Right.
Yes.
So this is like another Jackie?
Do you think this is a lateral move? Is he going to the same money, or is he taking a pay cut?
No, I think he's going to do fine on Amazing Race, but it's going to last a year.
Is he taking a pay cut?
I would never make that kind of business decision. And we're talking about cable versus network. I don't have to walk people through that comment.
Yeah. There you are. Bing.
CBS versus E. Are you kidding me right now? The fact that anyone's even debating that his salary is going to be... Now, the cost of living in New York and LA is pretty similar. I'd even say back then at the time, you can find an apartment in LA probably cheaper than New York.
Probably. Well, New York's one of the worst real estate bubbles on the planet. I mean, there's just no contesting it. But
good luck getting rid of your apartments now, people.
Yeah, exactly.
No. He's with all his combined functions here. No, he's not making more money there.
All right.
Sorry, that was my drink, guys. I almost did a spit take with his combined functions. You mean between the janitor job and between the editing job and between the craft services? He's probably making above poverty.
I almost choked on my own air. I was like,
like he's gonna get a dedicated gig because this is the thing right here. He's on the air. This is just the radio show. He's not getting paid to be on the fucking radio show. That's the thing. And he's gonna create this 20 minutes, help create 20 minutes of content, but not get any money for it. He's not gonna get any kind of plug or something. He's not even gonna. Yeah. Well, they did get an Amazing Race plug.
If he would have stayed on, he could have made masterpieces like "Son of a Beach" and
Guess what's in my
pouch? The Last
Days
of Howard Stern.
Or was it Inside the Porn Actor Studio?
What's so weird too is like during that time period, which good thing he missed it. He could have been walking around with an armband with a fist, like Nazis. It's the weirdest. All of them on the show were walking around like Nazis with these trench coats and armbands. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Trench coat pink mafia, yeah.
Really? I'm not going to get into the money.
Really?
I laugh at that comment.
Okay, whatever. Between the CBS show that you were making,
there's no CBS.
Okay, there's no CBS show now, but between the CBS show and E, where were you making more money?
It's still a good business decision.
Okay, where were you making more money?
It's still a good business.
Oh, because he thinks he owns The Amazing Race. The Amazing Race is going off the air. Here's what guaranteed. The Amazing Race is another year.
Okay, so
that's helpful and kind.
Well, again, so yeah, Scott was there 10 years at the Stern Show, and he talks about it in the same article about how difficult it was because of the hours, and that so much of the show was not visual, and Howard had to make certain aspects of it visual for the purposes of the TV show, but it was so difficult because they had to stock up footage for days when there was nobody coming in studio, and there were no strippers and no mom and daughter, it's just wrong shit, or so now it's like he doesn't have to fly by the seat of his pants at a fucking reality show. It's a defined format, defined show. It's mostly just editing, but you'll have tons of footage. You're not going to be short of footage on The Amazing Race. So it's an easier gig, and you don't have to wake up at 5 a.m.
It's an easier gig. It's a more professional atmosphere, and your tasks are defined. Like, unlike the Howard Stern Show, where it's like, I didn't know I was supposed to be in charge of cleaning up your toothpicks after a taping. You know what I mean? It's just, also, like you said, this job if they didn't have those, circus-like people on, like, I don't know, the Whack Pack and strippers and whatever, sideshow going on, and say Robin wasn't there, or say Robin didn't want to be shot so much that day, they had no cutaway shot, so they had to figure out, what the fuck are we going to do? What are we shooting? Mm-hmm. And now he has this amazing opportunity, and Howard somehow is thinking this is better. Shooting me picking my teeth and nose and shaky eyes. Okay.
trying to get rid of the crazy eyes shots. Fuck. Yeah. And incidentally, I just used for the Robin Williams thing that will have just come out by the time you guys hear this on our YouTube channel. The crazy eyes clip, there's a clip where he's interviewed for the Howard Stern Comes Again, and he's talking about the Robin Williams situation. I was about to write him a note and all this shit, and the crazy out of control. That's 2019. That never changed. Like, he was always still like eyes going all over the place.
Yeah, it's a very odd.
It's not. It's a kind
I don't know. Is it it happens so often. Like, does he have any control of that, or are they just? I wish I knew if it was something like lying triggers it, or if it's something that just happens naturally.
I looked it up ages ago for studying body language, right? And they said it basically the person's looking for an escape. They're looking for a way out. But I'm thinking, are they for a way out of a lie?
A way out of a closet? Hello.
Yeah, Exactly. But I mean, if you had to edit those crazy eyes, if you had to follow those eyes, you'd be cross-eyed yourself.
I mean, seriously, at this point, it's like Paul Lynde still pretending to be straight.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I talked to Scott about his money. If the show gets picked up a few more times, you'll make a lot more money.
Yeah, of course. But it's not going to.
No.
Anyone would.
I mean, Scott, listen. Everyone's got to do what they got to do, but you realize that the reality, TV is like dying here, right?
Well, you guys, you can continue.
Good.
Thank you, stuttering Nosferatu, stuttering Nostradamus.
Oh, great. How about we hand him another 40-pack of Molson Canadian? Fuck you.
Are you kidding? He'd kill for Molson Canadian.
Guy.
He's a Coors guy. Budweiser guy, yeah.
Coors, okay.
Or sorry, Amstel.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I remember he said, he goes, I'll never drink that fucking Heineken shit. I'm an Amstel guy. Meanwhile, Heineken owns Amstel.
You know what I thought about with Stuttering John when I watch all of his podcasts and all the beers that he downs?
Sure.
Every day is the Bills home opener for Stuttering John. I mean, he literally drinks every day is the Bills home opener. That's like the one day where I really drink beer. And I'm thinking to myself, Jesus Christ, picture every day is that.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Every day is beer day.
Now he's a reality TV producer. They just started the reality TV genre a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. How did you become a reality TV producer?
Your show, I've been doing it for you for 8 years.
My show's a talk show. It's no different than the Tonight Show. That's not reality TV.
It's no different than the Tonight Show. I knew Sam would laugh.
Oh, just keep going.
Okay.
What reality is there?
There's behind the scene moments. This is not scripted. It's reality.
We all race around the world.
I know.
That's reality right there. I'll give you that.
That's been my job for 8 years, making sure Scott's face captures that beauty on camera.
You can't plan that.
So Scott feels.
Meanwhile, they've had to go to an eye specialist to realign their retinas, trying to get off that fucking crazy eye train. Do you think Howard's trying to signal to us that something's wrong on the left and the right and the left and the right? I think they're
Help
cued.
me, I'm gay.
Exactly. It's like the end of the Fly, the original Fly. Help me! Help me!
I hate the remake. I love the original Fly.
Oh, the original's fantastic.
Love it.
Yeah, it really is. You can't remake that.
You cannot remake that. It's so good.
It is, really.
Sorry for that tangent.
That's all right, guys. We'll get into the Christopher Lee Dracula films next.
Like he's grown here as much as he can grow.
He's hit a ceiling.
There's no ceiling to hit.
It's not too late, right?
It's a guaranteed shot. Oh, it's too late. Robin Rosinski's the person replacing him. He's replaced.
And I'm very happy for her. She's going to do a great job.
Not only is she going to do a great job, she's already told me a better job. She's told me some ideas of hers. I wish we could have instituted these a while ago.
New energy.
So this is that devaluement that Bob D talks about so often on our NPD shows. And thank you, Bob, once again for kind of opening our eyes to that. We could suss that out without the terms. We'd know what to call it, but it's got to be that whole thing that discard, devalue, pardon me, discard, devaluement, because that person is no longer of use to us. So we must, diminish whatever they're about to do and what they've done. Yep.
You know what this reminds me of? Say you're like really good at math or something. And so you just say, I'm going to be in the honors math class. And like I said, in the yearbook, you're like, fuck you for going to honors math, you piece of shit. I hope you fail. And you're worthless. We're not friends anymore. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Would you like me to stay in the dumb math class with you when I could be in the honors and get a scholarship to an Ivy League school? I don't know. Yep. It's just insane to me that he is doing this NPD thing. And, like you said, we didn't have a word for it. We didn't know what this was, but he is devaluing and discarding him right now.
Mm-hmm. And this is his farewell. So I'm glad we led off with this one because there are a couple other ones that are pretty bad as well. So this is, like I said, a first in the series.
to the show.
Right.
Actually, I'm doing you a favor by leaving.
In a sense, you are, yeah. Thank you.
No,
I have no problem with you leaving. I don't know why you think I do.
Maybe Robin will.
I've just been trashing you, and you're leaving for 5 minutes. So I don't know why you think I have
I'm
a problem.
confused. Why do you think I don't want you to do well?
There's a dartboard with Amazing Race and Scott's face on it on the back of the board right now. When Scott leaves, he'll see all these darts on his eyes.
Why don't you think I like you?
Come up with something for you to do when this fails.
Okay.
You can work for Robin. I don't care.
Well, Ganji's very happy because only 100 more people have to leave and he can be producer.
This is a hard out for me. FYI.
You know what? Scott's got to get, used to new terms. Like instead of short lists and, vis-a-vis, he's got to, think about unemployment checks.
FYI, yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, Sam?
By the way, this is the professionalism of the Stern Show and how you move up. Nobody knows what's happening. Nobody knows what their roles are. Nobody knows when and how there's promotions available. If they're available, when you can move up, what's the opportunity. It is such vagary and horseshit.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. And the idea that...
so unprofessional.
Yeah, they want you all to be miserable. They want you to be unsuccessful. They want you to be less successful than them. It really is like... God, don't you dare leave the neighborhood. We want you in here. You better not fucking move on up, Mr. Jefferson.
See, now, I don't mind if it's unprofessional when it comes to things like the creative aspect, like Richie was talking about, Richie Wilson, during the interview with the writing and the process and the ideas flowing. See, I think that's good. But when it comes to things like your future, money, positions, titles, that stuff matters. And if you do want to be able to move somewhere and up the ladder, you have to know that there's room to grow. Obviously, you don't know that in the Stern Show because they want you making they want to pay you as little money as you can. And they want you for as many hours as you can. And they want to give you no hope that you're ever going to do any better.
And they demand you're non-union, so you don't have a fucking recourse. You cannot. You don't have a sick day. You don't have, Tim Sabian. Sorry, your parents are dying, or your father's dying, or whatever. Fuck you. Out.
It's thinking back on this now. I didn't even know this at the time. Obviously, I thought this goodbye was horrible.
Yeah.
For Scott, but now think about this. He probably wasn't union.
Yes.
They didn't know every contract if they would even have a fucking gig because he told them the day of.
Yes.
And they live in New York City.
Right.
So of course you should leave. Go to CBS. You have 4-year contract with The Amazing Race.
Right. And the way to work for Stern was to be independendly wealthy. So you didn't have to depend on his fucking 6 shekels to get you through the storm. And then also not knowing, like you said, the indecisiveness, like what kind of stress would that play on your mind? And then physically hurt you by being that stressed, not knowing what you were going to do the next fucking whatever many years. I mean, that's beyond being unprofessional. It's just a shithead move.
I can't. No wonder why so many of them waited so long to have families, because that stress, if you had a kid and that was what was happening, that stress would kill you. Like, I was getting stressed out hearing that. Yeah,
of course. And pardon me. So in this case, the guy's making a vertical move, and anyway, it's just like Stuttering John. The Stuttering John one is worse because he literally went and he admitted he was getting $500,000 a year compared to 85. And doing way more hours.
What a traitor!
Yeah,
he has 3 kids, a wife.
Yeah, in having to like go on the road all the time. Now you can just fucking lay back in California, not fucking cold and dank New York, whatever, just all the bullshit and all the crime. Go over to LA, you can just schmooze with whoever, and it's a cush gig. Like, he ended up having a cush gig, and we'll go more into the ins and outs of why John got hired and who hired him later on, guys, with another episode, because it is funny. Howard was completely misinformed by how he was hired, and I won't reveal that, but I've got some intel that's really it's pertinent to that. So anyway, that's another time.
I want to thank you for everything. You've been an excellent boss.
I want to thank you for everything. I love working with you. You're a great guy. I do wish you're the nicest guys I ever worked with.
You. That's really sweet.
I'm one of the most talented.
Thank you.
Hate to lose you.
Thank you.
I just think it's a bonehead move.
Well, I hope to work with you again in the future.
But Howard, I got a question for you. You said that he says that off the air. You've been very nice about
awesome.
it.
Yeah.
I have to pause that, guys, as you know. So, like how he wraps it up in a bow. I just think it's a bonehead move. Like, you can't let him go 20 seconds without shitting on it.
Well, he's doing the same thing he did in the bro fight, where he says sorry and then right hooks him at the end.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
Listen, dude, I'm sorry, but boom, another dig. He just can't help himself but be an asshole.
So this is a question for you, Sam. Do you think he's even angrier than he's letting on, and he's just this is like light Howard?
Oh, this is light. I think that I don't know if he's on better behavior because Artie's new and he wants Artie in the chair, and he's giving indication, by the way, that clearly Scott is talented, should have been making more, could have been making more. Part of me thinks that he's holding back because there is so much change going on in the show. Think about this. Jackie's gone.
Yep.
He's leaving. Artie's coming on. I think this is actually tame for what he's like when he's comfortable in positions with the show, like when he's in a better slated position.
I see.
As a boss.
Yeah, because I'm saying, like, as bad as this is, I seem to think that in my heart of hearts, he would really be vicious with him beyond the same way he was with Wendy Williams, but of course not when she was in the studio. I think that's what Scott would have really received if it were possible to do on the air. Like, if he could swear, he'd call Scott a cunt for leaving.
I think the profanity would have been worse. And I think, like I said, terrestrial during this time too, 2001. This is a big transition time. The divorce, Beth, Artie coming on, Jackie leaving, him leaving. It's a lot. So I think he's a little less nasty, but still a dick.
He's little Zvi lost.
I felt bad. I wrote him a note and I lied through the note. I said, I wish you the best. You know what? But I didn't lie. I said, I wish him the best, and I do.
Here's the thing. The notes...
I hope Amazing Race is number one.
I know he thinks I'm making a stupid decision professionally. The notes were about, more of a friendship and the support that we have.
He's one of my best friends.
Yeah. But...
He didn't...
Okay. Could you even imagine, like, if I texted my best friend right now and she said, I'm going to go get a different job. And I was like, well, you're going to fail at it. It's going to be a really bonehead, shitty move, but good luck. And I love you. You're my best friend.
I'm not getting the mixed signal. I'm not getting mixed messages here, Sam. That sounds perfectly normal and rational from a human being to another one.
I love you. You're my best friend, but you're going to fail and it's going to be miserable. And why'd you buy a house? That was dumb.
Howard's the little kid at the end of the movie Identity.
I think you're making a good move. No,
I didn't.
So I think the honesty, I'm hoping the honesty was related to our relationship, but there was no...
Absolutely.
I know he thinks I'm making a stupid decision.
Yeah, I do, but I wish you the best in your stupid decision. It's a stupid decision.
Oh, dear.
Was he making at least $200,000 here?
I don't know what he makes,
argument.
but I would say yes.
It's cable TV, dude. Go do the research. It's cable TV.
Stuttering
Again,
John, right on the finances.
Of course. He's like, that's his bone. He's a dog and finances are John's bone. Yeah. Again, though, Howard not making any sense and also not being, it's this fake happiness.
Yeah.
He's not happy for you.
You don't hear genuine, like well-wishing.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No, I think he had a whole bunch of jobs that he's not talking about. Go ahead, Gary.
No, I'm just going to talk to you about some ratings when you guys are done with this.
Amazing Race?
Yeah, no. Friends and Survivor.
What'd you get?
You know what? Survivor's really closing the gap on Friends, man. I know Friends was a repeat last night.
A reality show.
So was Survivor.
Yeah, but that's the...
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's just showing you the failed idea of reality TV, right? That Survivor is now surpassing the sitcom Friends, where every actor is paid $1 million an episode. What do you think TV studios are going to, or TV stations are going to take? cheap reality TV shows produced for less, or sitcoms where every actress and actor makes $1 million per episode. Bing, they're going to take the reality TV shows because they are doing great in the ratings. They're cheap to make. And you have people like Scott Einziger where you can pay just, a little bit more and you have a great product.
Yeah.
Why do you need to pay? This was the ushering in of why are we paying so much for all this?
Yeah. And even though like they were making, and also when the ratings changed, when they shifted, when all of a sudden the show wasn't getting 30 million views, those salaries didn't make any sense anymore. Like Frasier cast and, whoever else, Rose, whoever was making enough money by near the end, like shitloads of money. ER, God knows they must have been making, what's his name? Anthony Edwards, before they killed him off, must have been making a boatload on that show. And Sherry Stringfield, all these people. Noah Wiley must have been making a killing near the end of ER. Jesus Christ.
And you know what? That's great. You make all the money you could during that time period, but this was the beginning of the end of that.
Oh yeah, and so even now, like the only people making huge salaries on sitcoms would be the reboots, like the relaunches of Roseanne. Like Laurie Metcalf's probably cashing in on that show. Like what's her name? The one who plays Darlene.
Aunt Jackie, and
Sarah Gilbert.
Yeah,
and Goodman. They're probably making shitloads, and they deserve to. I mean, if the stuff gets the kind of ratings that they get in 2020. At like a 10 million or 8 million viewers, that's amazing in 2021 for any show to get that. So anyway, so Einziger's getting upward mobility here, and we still got to shit on him. I think Gary though feels bad for him, and that's why he's coming in saying, "Look, this isn't so fucking crazy. Sorry, you want to shit on him, asshole, but he's a buddy and probably is friends with this Scott at that point, and saying like, I don't like this. Let's throw him a bit of a bone here."
What's a friend, Fillmore?
Yeah, I don't know. A friend is something you piss on.
Best reality show.
But it's a reality show.
Survivor did, for the first half hour, Survivor did an 11-2 and Friends did a 13-6.
But Friends was a repeat.
Yeah, but so was
I
Survivor.
turned it off.
So was Survivor.
Yeah, but it was still more original. It was original footage.
I guess so, but it's getting closer. And then CB.
So you just got looking blown away out of the water, asshole. Yeah, go ahead.
What's true beauty? What's mom caves? I mean, could you imagine
Sweet
that?
Facts, Poke.
I can't even fathom that. I wish Scott Einziger would make a comeback and be like, "Hey, how did that take off? You were real supportive of mom caves."
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes, wins tonight.
But I hope CBS wins tonight.
What do you think about his move, Gary?
Seriously, what do you think about Scott's move? Be honest.
You know what? Scott and I have had long conversations about where he sees himself in the future, and
where?
I think he sees himself, working in the network world. And this.
So do I. But where am I going to get a job? I don't do anything different than he does.
This fits his.
What the fuck? Oh my Lord! You just stepped in it, Wig. You just fucking stepped in it.
He doesn't do anything.
I mean, Wig is now trying to put himself in Scott's shoes as doing the same thing.
And he comes in every day. Everything's ready for him. He has a driver to drive him. He has a guy to open the door. He has an intern to cut the potatoes. He has somebody to check the sound. He has an engineer. I mean, he sits down and all he has to do is control his eyeball movement at best.
Right, and he controls volume, but that's and by design, he wants to control people's volumes. Okay, big shit. So you have to work a knob and not Ralph's. And then you decide and you decide you're going to shit on a guy who's actually getting hired from a network you couldn't even get. Like he had a CBS show. They kicked him off. CBS affiliates carried the show. And then he had to go to E!
They carried that bucket as long as they could.
Now that I think about it, that might be another reason for the vitriol, because it is CBS. He had it in for NBC since they fired him, and he had it in for CBS probably after they, got rid of the show.
I never thought about that. You're so right. That probably adds more salt in the wound of his failures on TV.
And it's doubly on NBC. AGT was NBC, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so when Simon decided, let's ditch the fucking Wig and let me get back and put the ratings where they should be, that's another example of him now. I'm back on fucking hating NBC, and he's never going to forget that.
Imagine those meetings. Hello. Can we get rid of the dancing wigged scarecrow? Thank you. Can we get back to good television? We need somebody with a part and a hairline.
I can't believe his idea was, let's bring Ben Stern on the show at AGT. That was going to draw in the teeny boppers.
Yeah. So many kids know who Ben Stern is.
Did you read about him in Tiger Beat?
It was right next to Leif Garrett.
Jesus.
Works for him.
Doing what? Amazing Race? It's not going to last more than a year.
It doesn't matter because he'll have worked on a network show and they won't blame him.
So what?
They won't blame him for his.
Oh, no. His resume is going to read.
No, because he didn't create that show, and you know what I mean? He didn't create the show.
And then he's got to go create a show to get another network job. You don't just get a network job.
What are you talking about? What is he talking about? You have to create another show to get a network job. No. Do you know how many people come in and out of networks and switch shows? They work on the Wendy Williams show or the Andy Cohen show or, you know what I mean? There is so many people that have traded shows in this lifetime. The Today Show, the Tonight Show. It doesn't matter. It's all interchangeable.
Just go on. I'm doing it right now. Cursory thing here,
some people, of course, are loyal and they'll stay on a show for the entire run of it, okay? But there are so many interchangeable people, even in radio, who go on different shows.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fucking moron.
So he produced Stern's show in I guess he was there, early 90s he was there. And as he was the executive producer of the TV show up until 2001 when he left. And it's from 94 to 2001. So he said 10 years, but I'm sure he goes back a little further. He goes into Amazing Race. He does co-executive producer for 22 episodes in whatever season that was, 2002. Then the Are You Hot, the infamous Are You Hot show, which didn't last. It was 5 episodes. He was a co-executive producer. Trista and Ryan's Wedding in 2003, TV miniseries, co-executive producer. The Will,
that was
TV
a big
series.
Thing, by the way.
Oh, it was,
I didn't watch The Bachelor, but I remember that was like all over morning radio and morning talk shows and stuff. Mm-hmm. So that was a big thing.
So the Starlet TV series, only 4 episodes, co-executive producer, 2005. The Two-Timer TV series, only 2 episodes, co-executive producer. So something that just failed. It didn't get picked up. Big Brother After Dark, 2007. Big Brother was huge in any incarnation, and he did 64 episodes. He was an executive producer there.
I know it's a big show. I never watched it.
Me neither. Kid Nation, 13 episodes, co-executive producer. That was 2007. So going through 2007, Big Brother again, 48 episodes in 2008, 2009. Hollywood Girls Night, he was a consulting producer. Then that was 2012. Trisha's Southern Kitchen TV series, 6 episodes, executive producer. Hideous Houses, and like a lot of these sound like shit. I'm not going to tell you about the quality. Teen Trouble, executive producer. Up until 2013, and then a movie called This Is Happening in 2015.
But again, this is even if they were successful or not, this is just showing you the availability in work in this type of field. Yeah, so Howard's logic is completely faulty.
No, yeah, and basically, because I've got my brother-in-law works in the film industry. He's actually got his own. He's got a couple things going on. He started as a camera crew. Then he went to like a camera team, basically. Then he decided he was going to start producing, trying to get stuff made, and that's what he's doing now. But now, of course, in COVID 2020, that took a hit. But and then he does, when they need. He's getting consulting work as well now, so he's branching out. And so if you do good work and you get these contacts, as Scott did, you'll never be out of work if you have a good name, if you do a good job, and you know what you're doing. And so it's clear Scott was employable well beyond 2001, and fuck it, he didn't last on The Amazing Race. It doesn't matter. He went on to do his own thing.
Yeah, and a lot of it.
Yeah, so I mean, you want me to look up Howard's IMDb?
No, please.
Exactly. So fuck you, Wig.
But you don't have a show. I've spoken with you for 8 years. You haven't come up with a show.
Let's see. If I have a show one day, if I've done a network
show. One day, come up with one.
Okay.
Oh, it's going to
like
come
I
to
said,
him once he gets to the
See, once he gets to L.A., the show will come to him.
Here's the deal.
It's dumb.
He's walking in the door of a
So what's he going to do? Produce a show for Howard for no extra money that Howard's going to, bankroll? Not happening.
Why are you giving me all your good ideas for free?
Yes. That's exactly what he's saying.
He's the bully in the hallway who didn't do his homework the night before and is like, let me fucking cheat off of your homework before I get in this class.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's a network show.
He's not.
No, that's it.
I've taken meetings with networks and pitched, two shows, two different shows.
And did the two shows get on the air?
One got passed on, one is still in play.
Okay. He's pitched two shows, probably just one. No one picked him up. He thinks he's going to get out to L.A. Now people...
Probably just one, meaning Howard thinks he's bullshitting, and because that's what Howard would do. When Howard says 7, it's probably 1. When he says 10, it's probably 2. He's basically saying he would bullshit. He would bullshit about how many, whatever the number was.
Bullshit. That's the
understatement.
That's the understatement of the fucking year. He just said he got offered. You guys don't know this, but he was offered 50 game show hosts.
I love that. Meanwhile, if he could have taken Deal or No Deal,
guess my wig.
Guess the part. Find the part. Oh my Lord!
How long has this been on?
Drew Carey's doing coke off of fucking interns' asses at The Price is Right. Meanwhile, Howard's still stuck. Serious.
Are they real? The Beth Stern boob job story.
Guess the gap.
Silicone or saline?
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to start picking up a show. I've sold shows to networks. It's tremendous luck.
Absolutely. The planets have to be in alignment.
And also you got to be really, really good at creating shows.
So what's wrong with the game plan of working in a network environment, learning the politics,
because here's what
navigating
happens.
through those sharky waters?
You get into a network show. You're no better off when you go to a network executive and say, I worked on Amazing Race.
But I'm better off than being beyond a cable TV credit.
Not at all.
Okay, so now Wig's really pissed because he's denigrating the cable show that they've got.
Yeah. And also he's saying, I sold shows. It's really, really hard. And I want you to give me... Yeah, it takes a luck. It's really, really hard. And I want you to do all that work for me for free and give it all to me. And don't do it on your own. Give me all the good ideas.
So you're saying bad luck tanked the Fox pilots, Howard, instead of, the actual content?
The only good thing out of his Fox pilots are Grandpa Al Lewis should have had his own show.
And what's his name? Joe Piscopo singing Witchcraft. With Steve Rossi. That was great.
It's gold. TV gold. I wonder why that didn't last a decade.
Guys, we're bankrolling 5 seasons of this right now.
Unknown quantity when you're on cable. So you're one of these young guys who just got a good idea. Now you've worked on a loser network show. They don't care that you've been the editor on Amazing Race.
But Howard, it's about new relationships with other people.
Okay.
Howard, let me ask you a question.
Good. Have a good relationship with a bunch of losers.
I haven't had a discussion with Scott. Scott and I never talk about money.
CBS. It's CBS. Have a good relationship with a bunch of losers.
Right.
CB fucking S. It's not E.
Right. I don't know how much Einziger was making at the Stern Show. I guess we'll never know. Although I'm sure some people, like Stuttering John, probably has a ledger of what people were making each year. It's stained with beer caps, but fine. He's using like Coors caps for markers. But here's the thing. He had to have been making, once he got to Amazing Race, I'm sure he was making triple his salary easily.
Seriously, this is like saying you could produce the Stuttering John show, or you could go produce Joe Rogan's. What would you rather do?
Well, exactly. I mean, it's light years away. And the other thing is, there's a certain amount of professionalism, as you mentioned before. And if he goes to CBS, he knows he's not going to have to fuck around. He'll get paid on time. He's not going to have to do extra shit. I mean, he will probably, because you want to, first impression, you want to work hard and stuff. But you want to do your job. You're not going to be asked to do extra shit off hours and not get paid for them. Like, I'm sure Stern, if you had non-union, you weren't getting paid for a lot of work you were doing.
There's no such thing as overtime. I guarantee it.
I'm certain. Yeah, exactly. Maybe you get a fucking box of popcorn.
I don't care about money. In a year, it's all gone.
If I know him, because
can I just tell you something? No, let me make a point to him.
It's not going any.
When you go into a network executive's office and he says, "What are you working on now?" and you say, "Well, I did Amazing Race a year ago," they don't want to talk to you. You gotta have a job.
What the fuck is he talking about? What the fuck is he talking about?
Has Howard ever run a network? Are you
Never.
aware of something that I don't know?
He can't stay on a network. Run a network. For fuck's sakes. The truth is, once you get a gig, you often get another gig in the business, unless you're a complete shit. And that's what happened with Scott. He is not a complete shit. He did get gig after gig. We just given you his credits, and they're probably not even complete because IMDb is not flawless. This
is 79 logic, 79 IQ logic.
Yeah, doing whatever you can to shit on your fucking gig.
All smoke and mirrors, my friend.
So while I'm in
it ain't the Harry Potter story.
While I'm in Amazing Race, my agent will be thinking about
your agent is going to forget about
no,
you.
He's not.
Okay,
no, he's not.
Okay.
Is that Jackie's agent too?
No.
Here's my question, Howard.
Your agent's going to forget about you, dude, because you don't have work.
I'm working. He just placed me on a network show. How is that?
He placed you on a network show that's desperate.
And the network.
Go ahead, Sam.
This isn't the Harry Potter story. So, what was Scott supposed to be in Gryffindor and ended up in Slytherin? What the fuck is he talking about? Or is he talking about J.K. Rowling, who made an amazing popular book series and she can't write another book ever again? Oh, wait, how did that? 2001. Let me tell you something. How this ends up, everyone. She wrote a lot of them and made a shit ton of money. And movies.
Yes, and money from the movies. Wink puts the dumb in Dumbledore.
The agency.
Sorry.
It's so true. He's jealous of Hagrid's fucking long flowing hair.
Oh God.
Package shows. I mean,
whatever.
Packaging business.
All right. Well, you're guaranteed work.
Your agent packages shows as well.
No, he doesn't.
Well, sure, Son of the Beach is a package.
Son of the Beach was my show with Tim Stack. We didn't package anything. We didn't package people into it.
Tim is not a client of your agents.
He is now, but not when we started doing the show.
Yeah, but
you're wrong. We don't package. We didn't get any Don Buchwald clients on Son of the Beach.
That's something we'd have to look. We'd have to look that one up.
You just get your fake bearded girlfriends.
Exactly.
Package.
He's one of those guys who says, I'm going to Brad Pitt's agency because, they make a lot of movies.
No, it didn't work like
movies
that.
with Brad Pitt.
Yeah, not you.
If Scott was making as much in 1 year as he was going to make here in the next 4 years, is it still a dumb move?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you need a job to pitch shows.
If he was making 4 years' salary in 1 year, this is a dumb move. Yes. That's wig logic. If he's getting a raise, is that a problem? Yes. 2
+ 2 is 5.
Yes. Oh my fucking God. Stuttering John when he got to LA to start on the Tonight Show must have been laughing on the flight all the way back. He must have been looking at Howard laughing.
Just bombed.
Yeah, completely in first class too, no less. And going fuck you, Howard, give me another Heineken.
You've got to have a credit.
Hey, Audie was a network guy, and they're knocking down his door now for jobs.
And notice how silent Artie is.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Oh, really? Where's the logic?
Well, he knows he took a backwards move going on the Stern Show. He was out of work, but he, in the business, you never know what happens. And if he was making 35 G's on the Norm Show as a fucking bit player, and then making way less on the Howard Stern Show, just to be on the radio and do way more hours. Fuck.
I don't even know if I could wake up that early. I gotta be honest with you.
Oh, it's got to be brutal. Like you could set your schedule. I mean, if you're doing shift work, you get used to fucking up your sleep patterns and stuff. But to have to wake up, like if you were going on 6, which is what the Stern show used to be, right? 6.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, like, okay.
The travel time, wake up time, get yourself together time. Jesus, you'd be up what, 4?
And have to be funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally couldn't even look at someone at that time in the morning.
And then going to a satellite show where your show gets replayed all day long and insisting you got to still wake up in the morning.
It's such lunacy. It is total lunacy.
Because the only thing you know is drive time, and you're thinking, oh, people want to hear you at drive time, morning drive. No one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck. People download our show and they listen at 1 a.m. They download our show and they listen to whatever the fuck. You could start and stop. You're not missing a fucking word.
You know what I find more people say too, and I do this a lot, is I get ready with podcasts in the morning and I go to sleep with podcasts at night. So
amazing.
It's the best. You don't need to be up at 4 a.m.
No one. What was
no
that?
one.
What was that expression? You said you called it before. I forget the expression, but the program, like when it's set programming.
Oh, appointment television.
Appointment television.
Yeah.
Appointment whatever podcast. I find it stupid too. Hence, by the way, guys, while we do our we just got into a habit of doing Sunday night premieres for our show. But again, once the show is out, you listen to it whenever you like. It's just it has to be sometime, so that's what we chose.
Yeah, no, it's not appointment in the sense like you can listen to it whenever you want. We just like people on the chat at the same time, and it's a good communal thing.
Yeah. Let's keep going on. Let's roll the ugliness.
Camera, I see it's different. Okay.
You know, I'm never gonna convince you. So let's just
you
put it to
go
rest.
out there and you'll show us.
Show us.
Yes, I'm gonna prove it to you.
And I wish you the best. You're my friend.
Now, is the agency a big, powerful agency?
Yes, very big. I'm not going to name
it. They won't even
to represent Scott and Paulie Shaw.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott, let me ask you something. What?
I had to stop that for a bit. So there's already actually asking a good question. I forget the agency, but that's another thing. He's not with an agency right now at Stern's show. You know, he's got an agent. How many of those people working at the Stern show have an agent? Almost none of them, except for Don Buchwald.
Right. So that's Showbiz 101.
Yeah, and you've got a radio agent versus a TV and film agent. There's a huge. You're dealing with the fucking Jerry Bruckheimer show. Lord have mercy.
What kind of show do you see yourself? You know, what is your,
what's your show?
Yeah, you know, what do you see yourself doing in the future? Like, what kind of show?
Nothing. He has no clue.
The Stuttering John show.
Well, Charles Nelson Riley.
It's tuberculosis time with Stuttering John Melendez.
What show would that be? It really is like a bad DJ set where he's drunk. That's how the stutter sounds. Like
you think that was
scratches around.
Scratching. That was like a wind tunnel effect of getting scratched.
Show.
Rhythm is a dancer.
It sounded like the shriek at the end of the Invasion of the Body Snatchers that Donald Sutherland screams. Okay.
Right
Show
now,
that.
Seriously, listen.
Who's that white guy who pretends to be black?
Oh, Cole.
Oh, God.
Shit.
I'm sorry.
I never got really.
What?
It's just he's such an idiot.
Is it a sitcom or a game show?
No, listen. I don't do scripted shows. I do reality shows. So
Hey, can I tell you something? Yeah. You got a lot to look forward to. You know, Jackie's in the best shape of his life. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
But I'm not a joke writer. That's not my gig.
Neither is it. It's not his gig either.
Apples and oranges.
You went a 5-minute mile.
I did.
Now, shitting on Jackie, the passive aggressiveness, it's not even passive, it's just aggressiveness, shitting on Jackie for leaving because they wouldn't agree to his salary. Like, why would it bother you so much?
I do think it's funny. He goes, he's not doing that either because he wasn't. But I think Jackie's a little bit not in the Stern world. But I do think it's interesting that Jackie didn't really get any much, I guess, writing work after the fact.
Of course not.
So, you know, That's a completely different animal, though. What Scott's doing is totally separate. I mean, that's like saying, yeah, Jackie couldn't get a job at another hospital if he's a doctor, and Scott's a mechanical engineer. I mean, like, or, you know what I'm saying? It just makes no sense. It's apples to oranges.
Well, Jackie had no talent outside of regurgitating Catskill's fucking jokes from that none of which he wrote. And I mean, I'm not taking anything away from him. He wrote gags. He was witty. You know, he was a lot faster on the uptake than anybody else in the studio. But it doesn't translate to not even sitcom writing. You know what I mean? Like, he could have probably, if he had connections, written for sitcoms, but he's too old at that point, first of all.
You know what? The thing that Jackie had, which I think nobody else really does, when he said he's symbiotic with Howard's brain, he was. That relationship, for how he threw a joke at him, how Howard read it, the timing, their thought process in that timing, from when he threw the joke to when it was presented, was so flawless and seamless. That's extremely exclusive. I don't know how that translates into anything else except for that magic.
Right, and the speed at which it transpired, it seemed, you're right, it almost like you had no idea where it started. One thing started and the other thing ended. And then when you had Benji jokes replacing Jackie, you totally heard it, because Wig was completely, the unfunny fell fast and furious when Jackie was no longer around. It really, really did become more about, you know, stupid bits and, you know, just kind of shaming instead of, well, whatever. At any rate.
You know what it was like, Benji, when he started? It was like, when cars trying to merge lanes onto the throughway, and it's got its blinker on, and it's just sitting there with its blinker on going slow, and you're beeping the horn, and you're like, fucking merge, go.
Sunday drivers.
I can do it anywhere.
Okay.
And this I don't know if this had nothing to do with the decision of your girlfriend at all.
Of course it does. She wants to get back to L.A. Her family is there.
They're not in L.A. They're in.
You know who wears the pants?
Because I hear
that's not true.
Is it because, you know, necklaces like sell better in LA?
Yeah, that business is paying off.
Yep.
Because God forbid we take in anyone else's personal life or cares and wants of our partners.
Paying off.
You know, it's a win-win for Scott. He gets a good job and gets to go where his girlfriend wants to be. Wow.
What an asshole.
Yeah, I'm making a fortune.
Thank God she might have something going.
Yeah.
They should be close to Mark McGrath.
If I fail, she has him to go back.
Not really.
Do you think she would do that, Howard?
What?
Do you think if Scott, like, you know, honestly, like, you know, started being unemployed, do you think his girlfriend would leave him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, talk about foreshadowing.
Okay, well, Mark McGrath is doing a whole lot of nothing, and interesting, because didn't Richie Wilson say in our interview, if he ever stopped working, Beth would be out the door in a heartbeat?
Oh, yes. But this is the thing. I don't understand. This is the concept of that I really don't get. What does it matter if he's working or not? Like, he's got all the kinds of money and his name recognition, whatever that means anymore. Is it more a matter of like, well, I don't need to be bearded anymore. I can just be out.
I thought it was because if he's working, he's in the public eye, so she's needed.
Right.
So if he stopped working, there's no need for her to still pretend. And also he panics when he's not making some sort of money, when something's not coming in. You know, he's like a marble hoarder.
Oh, big time. And he's making less now than he ever has. I know. And how do we know, guys? We don't. We're just assuming. But we know that. We also know that when you wake up in the morning, the sun usually does come up. So I think that Wig took such a hit in this latest contract that the Jimmy Choo shoes are going to have to be going on. What's that website you sell secondhand stuff on? Like when it's high end.
Poshmark. So I was also thinking that anecdote where she jumped in with Bianca in the pool in her Manolos.
Yeah.
She might be jumping after cats and a lot less.
Slightly chlorine stained Jimmy Choos. Now for sale. What's all the cat hair on this shit?
You don't think she's
question.
Absolutely.
If you started being unemployed, do you think your wife would stay with you?
Okay, it's not about me. This is about Scott.
No, what I'm saying.
Dude, you know Maya well.
I know Maya very well.
That with conviction that you think she...
I'll swear on a stack of Bibles she's going to leave.
If I started...
Let me present you another scenario.
If you're not making money, you think Maya's going to stay with you? You're dreaming. Is there anyone in this room that thinks Maya's going to stay?
She lived in a van with me a long time ago.
Okay.
Well, we know that didn't happen. Sorry, Scott, but
Holy projection.
totally. Yeah.
Hey, okay, keep dreaming.
I didn't think a van was
She told that to you.
Van is code.
You know what?
She knows the van is not
I can tell you
coming.
this.
Notice she's not in a van.
I've seen it a bunch of times.
What if her jewelry business blows up and she becomes
I would love for
big
that to happen.
successful
I'm
woman?
tired.
Somebody told me that at Einziger's farewell party, Scott's fiance mentioned Mark McGrath at least 10 times.
Oh, please. That is at least more than me.
John, knowing what the boss wants to hear.
Hi, Jared.
Now that I'm recalling this and hearing this, I seem to recall that Mary Delabate had something to do with Maya's jewelry, because I remember this being brought up every now and then when they would start talking about, Gary does everything at the house and Mary's not doing anything. Gary going, well, it makes her happy, during this jewelry shit with Maya. Einziger.
It is interesting though that some wives, the treatment is they want them. It's really all over the board with this, like in the Stern universe. Like some wives they want them to work and they mock them for not working. Other wives, it's okay for them not to work and they don't have to have any aspirations other than family life.
Yep.
It really is like a mixed bag of nuts for like what's appropriate and what's not in Howard's mind for what he's gonna yell about.
And then also mocking some of them for what they're doing as jobs. Like it's the rainbow of mockery.
It really has I can't follow the logic with it because it just depends.
Right. The only one that really wasn't too mocked was Mr. X, but that's only because Robin didn't want to be outed on the air for certain things, and he probably would have kicked Howard's ass.
Robin is a lot like Ralph in this way where you can push her just like you can push Ralph to a point on certain aspects, but Howard knows better than to fuck with her hard because she will unleash some sort of unholy hell on him. And he knows she's got the bodies, too, in the closet. Buried.
Oh, yes. And more so when people were asking, who would you rather have, like, release a book ages ago? I think it was a Jump the Shark or something where we discussed, who would you rather hear? Whose book would you rather read? And it was Machine Gun Kelly episode. And I think everybody said, Bowie, I think Jason and Will, whatever. I would love if Robin could just tell the tales and have someone else actually do the writing, like do the ghost writing. But I would love for the info to come from Robin.
I agree.
Yeah. Especially with the Allison stuff, because I'm very fascinated with all that crap.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that, like, Scott now is an equal to Mark McGrath, but...
He is?
Well, wait a second. He's successful.
Who told you she mentioned Mark?
Let me tell you, 5 years from now, Gary's living a charmed life compared to you.
And I'd be happy.
That's right.
Charmed life now.
You sure are.
And wait till they have kids.
Oh, you better.
Oh, God, John. Hindsight is a bitch. Go ahead.
Gary's living a charmed life compared to you. So anyone being successful is on the show, off the show. He just wants nobody having a good life. He wants everyone miserable. Nobody enjoy your family. Nothing. Kids are the fucking devil.
Yeah. Why should you enjoy your life? And he's miserable. He's miserable. I'm miserable. Why aren't you miserable?
Yeah. Why aren't you miserable like me, pretending, going to white parties in Sean John?
I'll never forget that one clip. Do you remember that one clip where Howard and Artie and then Gary and Robin were all talking about his what he talks about with his psychologist? And Gary said that there was a time when he would almost throw up before every meeting.
Yes.
And can you imagine the stress, like the amount of fucking years you take off your life living that kind of stress in the work environment as a producer or as anything, really?
That's why it's the way he's acting. We haven't even discussed the way Scott's acting exactly how he should. Like, goodbye. Like, he'll call you out on a few things. Like, listen, you wrote me this nice note. CBS, Jerry Bruckheimer, of course I'm going to take this. He let him on a little thing, but he's acting exactly how he should. Like, peace out.
Yes.
Say whatever the fuck you want. I'll take it.
Exactly. Now I'm getting paid, motherfucker.
Have a good job. Hey, I wish you luck, though, buddy. I do. You're a good guy. I'm going to miss you, too.
I hope we still, hang out and stuff.
Yeah, probably not.
You're successful, yeah.
We can meet for dinner in somewhere in the Midwest.
Yeah, sure. We'll hang out. You live in L.A. I live here.
Well, because he'll be so powerful and big, he'll be on this coast all the time.
Sure, I see Jackie a lot.
I always thought if I left the show, if I left, that the first thing you would do would be change your phone number. Of
course.
We wouldn't hang around, right?
No.
I mean,
Well, what else is new? When they're all gone, when there's no show, who do you think he keeps in touch with? Nobody.
Gary really is that retard that just thinks, well, we're going to keep in touch after camp, right? We're going to write letters every week.
Right.
Yeah, sure, buddy. I mean,
what was your name again?
Yeah. Did we have an arts and craft class together during summer camp?
Oh,
what's your name?
Yeah. Hang around now.
Yeah.
At least Scott I hung around with when he worked with us. Listen, unemployed guys depress me. I can hang around with Scott.
That's why I said if he's successful, you'll see him.
Yeah.
So if you're in LA,
that is so fucking true. If he's successful, you'll see him. So if Scott is big enough or bigger than Howard, he'll make fucking time for him. See Harvey Weinstein. See Matt Lauer.
Yes.
See any one of these fucking dirtbags that got, fucking Me Too'd or whatever. Yeah, go ahead.
You know what? Gary is I just figured this out. The perfect analogy. He is that guy from Happy Gilmore who's obsessed with Shooter McGavin, and he's like, "Hey, Shooter, we're gonna go to the Red Lobster." After he totally fucks up Happy's golfing career as part of the plot, and he's like, "So we're gonna go get some grub at the Red Lobster, right? We're gonna do that." Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna do that.
I see Gary as in Bugs Bunny. There's the big bulldog and there's the big bulldog and there's the little Chihuahua, and Gary's the bulldog going, "Yeah, you and me, Rocky, we're gonna be good friends, right? Right? Yeah." He slaps him across. Because Gary, anyway. But Bowie, and to be fair, and other people have kind of voiced this, that are some of our, I won't say sources, but people we've been in touch with in the Stern world, related to Stern world. Like, if I was making Bowie money, I might be willing to take some of the bullshit that he's gone through. But we know he wasn't really making much money. It wasn't about that. He was making money for the amount of ability he had. Yes, more than he deserved, but still not enough for what kind of show what kind of money they were making in ratings and whatever, and ad revenue and stuff. It's sad. Anyway. Let's continue.
We'll have dinner.
No.
Okay.
What for?
You're like Maya. You're not going to live with him in a van.
See, this is the on the air Howard.
No, he's going to have dinner with Mark.
Okay, we'll see.
Do you worry at all, Scott? In all honesty, without lying, do you worry at all if you don't happen to get a job quickly? Do you worry that your fiance will leave it?
No, I'm not worried.
No, she's in love with him.
I'm not worried.
Where are you going to park the van so we can come over?
Maya's a beautiful girl who expects Scott to make a living. Right. And that's my assessment. It's not a put down on Maya, but she wants a guy.
See, I always felt, and this is...
Oh, my God.
Oh, can you project more if you tried? It's literally vomit from The Exorcist.
I think in our intros, I might have to get the supersized projector and make it a little larger.
It's insane.
Yeah,
he's nuts.
Yeah, I thought you wanted an earner, Howard. I thought, what are you worried about? I thought you wanted, you wanted a spouse that made their own living. Oh no, I'd like them to be, depend on me. Ooh, which is it? Jesus.
Yeah, don't you want someone who rips off dog experts and puts her face on a book?
It's not dissing Maya. I felt that part of the attraction of being with Scott was because he is like a successful producer.
Oh yeah, trust me, that's exactly it.
Job, right?
That's part of it. She decided to.
She likes the security of having a guy working for her.
I still think she thinks he's a success.
I don't understand this logic. What is the problem with liking a partner, a person, but you want them to be successful in their own career? I'm sure people wouldn't like me if I was like, "Hey, what's up? Oh, you're really hot. Oh, you don't have a job and you don't do anything?" Well, that's kind of a turnoff. Yeah, of course. I mean, You want somebody who's doing something in their life that they enjoy, that they're successful at. That's not saying that they have to make a ton of money. That's just saying they want them to be productive.
Right.
Successful producer. We'll find out in a year whether he's
when he's.
Well, we all know that. I mean,
here's the. Everyone who listens in Los Angeles
would like me to fail, and
so I can prove it to you.
You would like me to see Maya leave me.
He would love to see him experiment.
I would. Yes, I would.
It's like a human.
Wow. That was spontaneous sincerity. That wasn't a joke.
Thank you for being a friend.
Jesus H. Christ. that was not like that came right out of his mouth. Right? We've often said that the truth, because people say, well, the argument would be, guys, you're taking clips of Howard. If he's full of shit, how can you believe anything he says? Say, no. There are truth nuggets within the show if you listen to with the right ears. And I'm not talking about taking some Kool-Aid or bullshit. No. He has tells. One of them is, if he blurts shit out, most of the time, it's what he really feels.
So I have to go in this train of thought of, we're biased because we know so much and we do feel a certain way. But there's so much evidence that mounts to the logic that is the truth, because he said it so fast. And everything prior to him saying that builds up on that evidence. If you were to build a case and you were to listen to this conversation up until that point and said true or false, do you think he really thinks that? True. 100%.
Right. I mean, there was no joke. That's the whole point. Like, there was no, like, he's couching it in some kind of witty repartee and, I'm just kidding, man. I really wish you the best, whatever. You don't ever get the sense during this whole conversation that he's really busting his balls. You get the sense that he really fucking wants him to fail and nothing else. The other guys are trying to add levity, but he's not really.
No levity. And also, how many times do you have to wish somebody well in that tone in a conversation? Yeah, wish you good luck. Good luck, buddy. Good luck. Yeah, I wish you well. Good luck. How many times?
It's like Rickles, except you keep the insults going, and there's you never trail off and tell them what a wonderful person they are at the end. You just keep doing the insults.
Yeah, it's Rickles on repeat.
Scott, let me tell you from the bottom of my heart, I've never liked you as an actor.
Trick or treat hair.
Exactly.
Remember, I'm a rat.
Everyone in Hollywood.
The true Hollywood story.
After Scott loses his job, don't hire him.
No.
And we'll see what happens. We'll see if Maya stays with him.
Maya might as well get a big piece of cheese and get a maze.
You know what? Here's your show. You put cameras on me for the next 6 months.
Now you're.
Yep.
Oh my God! Remember when Richie said, and I was shocked by this. Richie Wilson. He said, we were all afraid because if we were to get another job, he would ruin it for us. He said it during the interview. He said, I said, could you say anything to him about the changes and what was happening? And he said, we were all afraid. He said, he's still a big name. He could ruin our career. And I was flabbergasted. I was taken aback by that answer. And I said, what do you mean?
That was in the context of other people. Oh, no, that was in the context of him blackballing you if you did something, if you crossed him, basically.
Right, but this is the same thing. Look at him. He's not even thinking twice about saying shit about him on the air.
Nothing.
In a public space of millions of people and saying, I don't care if I fuck up any chance of you. Fuck you.
To the point of John signing the contract with The Tonight Show and then announcing it. Imagine if he knew about it, what he wouldn't stop doing to fucking ruin that job for John.
Oh my God, that would have been so dead and buried if he had a whiff or an inkling.
And if you think that stuttering John, as a bunch of a fucking alcoholic waste case, dirtbag, shithead, scumbag that he is, wasn't taking notes during this for future reference, you've got another thing coming. He might now have wet brain after so many years of just fucking case after case, 2-4s of, shit beer. But in, 20 years ago, Christ almighty, like I would be, his ledger must be the size of the Manhattan phone book in terms of slights and shit.
The smartest thing he ever did was how he transitioned to The Tonight Show. I will give him 1,000% credit for that. Thank God
because
whatever fucking functionality he had, he saved it to get a better job.
Oh, and much better, yes, and to get out of that fucking slime pit. But the thing was, it was funny. He almost did the acting thing. Like, he turned down the initial correspondence job to work for the Tonight Show, which would have been way less money, I'm sure, or like even part-time money. But I mean, network money, but not as much as a full-time gig. And then they came back at him like, "Well, what about an announcing job?" Which is going to be like shitloads more money. That's the way to play it. You say no to some of these agents, they all of a sudden they're like, oh Jesus, he says no. Nobody says no in this town. We got to get him.
Yeah, we have to get the guy who can't say Pamela.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage.
Good choice.
I love when they would mock on him. The music of Stained.
Fuck it. I think for us, for the audience, it was a win-win. Howard's pissed. John got one over on you. He got money, and we got to listen to this. It was the best. I mean, honestly, Scott, for the audience, there's no better solution.
Scott, give me a band. Steely Dan. God, I love that. We got Bell and Sebastian.
We all know, Howard. I mean, and Scott, I'm sure you could agree with me, like off the air. Amazing Race is not going to last a long time.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Because it's fourth in the ratings.
It's going to make it a great show.
I mean, it didn't even do well.
I knew someone laughing at. He's so hung up on that fourth in the rating shit. It's totally the guy, the only person running a 2-person 100-meter dash and wins it and goes, I beat them all. I mean him.
Like this time around, and this is when the reality shows are hot.
They care about the demo, and it attracts a younger demo for CBS, which is important.
Okay. All right. Anyway, no, Scott, I want to say something sincere.
Yeah.
Forget it. No, you're my good friend.
Same here.
And it was a pleasure working with you. I know this is your last day. I wish you the best of luck.
Appreciate that.
I think while I've voiced my concerns about your career, it's only out of friendship that I say it.
I appreciate it.
We all do this to our friends, don't we? Man, I just got a job with this as a CEO. Fuck you. Fuck you for big time.
Do you want to make friendship bracelets after the show?
Oh God.
I'm going to give you a necklace. It's a broken heart. You can take one piece and I'll take the other. BFF.
Do you think Howard has like a dagger and a locket with him and Scott Einziger? Like he's put like a little voodoo pin in Scott's eyes. In the locket. Oh Jesus! That's another Photoshop, guys.
Besides the laughter, this is just the personification of insincerity. If anyone wants to know what this sounds like,
I tell you from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, this is like a toast you give at a wedding when you know the bride and the groom are not going to work out.
This Howard going to the wedding going, there's a lot of people planted around to look like they enjoy themselves.
This reminds, for any O&A fan out there, Kumi always talks about how he knew his wedding wasn't going to work out from the second he married her. And he said he laid his head down that night drunk and was like, what did I do? And I'm thinking whoever gave toast at his wedding probably did something along these lines.
Yeah. I wish you all the happiness. A year, tops.
Your thoughts?
No. Good luck.
It was Rickles went on the Tonight Show and Ed McMahon just got married. He goes, Ed, I'm running out of gifts. God bless you, Tom. I just got my autographed Don Rickles poster and picture 8x10 in the mail recently, and it's my truly cherished possession. Fucker. I just wish I'd gone to a show. And Dennis DeMarco,
I love what he posts.
Dennis DeMarco went to see him actually, and I think he did say he went to see him, but it was later in his career. God, I would have loved in his prime to just be savaged by Rickles. Anyway, let's continue.
Here's a song.
Here's Sugar Ray.
I hope, you know what? It's great for Maya to move to the West Coast. There's a whole bunch of new people who don't know she dated Mark McGrath. We've all heard this story 9 million times.
You know what? I wasn't in on that joke. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
She dated Mark McGrath.
Yeah.
Well, wait till she gets to know you. She'll tell you everything.
You're late to the party.
This is how the story starts. I'm going to tell you something, but don't tell anyone.
That's pretty much how he promos everything these days. Robin, I got a big announcement. I can't talk about it yet. It's like there's a big barrel of nothing headed your way, guys, real fast.
It really is. It's a scratch off, and you don't win.
So, you get served at like a fancy restaurant, and and they have those metal trays that cover the plate, and then they unearth, and there's like nothing there, but it's a huge plate when it gets to your table.
Yeah, it's like Ariel and the Little Mermaid, and the chef opens the plate, but Sebastian's just crawling around. Nothing's there. He's not there. He's hiding under the lettuce. You get nothing.
I'm gonna have to up my Little Mermaid chops.
Because Scott gets upset.
No. I hope they don't play any Mark McGrath songs at this party tonight, because I don't want Scott to be upset.
And then of course everyone goes, well, why would he be upset? And they go, I dated Mark.
I used to bang him.
Right.
All I know is Artie, I had a party at my house in the summer. A Mark McGrath song came on. She turned it off, and Robin Quivers somehow got wind that one of my neighbors, who doesn't even know who anybody is, goes, hey, is that girl over there? She used to date Mark McGrath. I once got into...
Anyway, it degenerates into this, guys, of course, because what else is the show? But you were going to say something.
Hollywood's a cesspool of fucking everyone.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
if you're going with this logic, how many people have fucked Johnny Depp, Brad Pitt? You know what I mean? That it makes absolutely no sense. So she had a relationship with Mark McGrath. Okay.
Right. So, like, is Howard really upset that he got sloppy thousandths with Beth? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Didn't she say in the interview with Benji she dated a ton of guys, had sex with a ton of guys?
And earlier, I think in another one,
but I'm not a whore, I'm not a slut.
Right. I've dated rich guys. I've dated poor guys, rich guys. So
and if Howard goes, she's dated billionaires with more money than me. Do you think that makes her sound more appealing, stupid, or less appealing? Wait, I'll hold on your answer.
Wow, she's a real Laura Ingalls. Fuck.
Oh my God, she's Mary. After the blind.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
A conversation with your Maya about Mark McGrath's penis size.
What'd she say?
I swear. Scott, you were there.
Oh, my goodness.
That laugh of his.
John is just like
I would kill my wife if she started talking about her ex-boyfriend's penis.
Yeah.
I would take notes. Go ahead.
How was the night with Rebecca Romaine and John Stamos?
Yeah, exactly. What was that line Artie said? If there's anybody in that foursome getting beer, it's Howard. While John Stamos has Beth and Rebecca bent over.
The best part about that line is everyone could exactly picture that happening.
Totally. That's why I threw the John Stamos in the Photoshop for this one, guys. It was kind of necessary.
That fucking Zulu is totally going on the beer run.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially if you happen to be a rock. Was it complimentary or not?
It was complimentary. Scott apparently is hung a lot,
better.
Yeah, you're better.
Mark heard. That's regular size.
Yeah, Scott doesn't hurt.
Although I think he was better at oral, though.
Well, we're running out of time, and I wish you the best. I do. Yeah,
Wouldn't this be a great time, Howard, to do your PSA about how pussy can give you throat cancer?
You just reminded me. Gilbert goes, I would gladly get syphilis to eat, so-and-so's pussy. I would gladly get AIDS if I could eat Catherine Zeta-Jones' pussy.
He's such a pervert.
we'll miss you. I'm going to miss you a lot. You're a great guy.
Robin, I miss you.
I'll miss you too.
Fred. I love Scott Einziger.
I am going to miss Scott. I mean, he's like
New York. He's a fun guy. I love personally hanging out with Scott. He's one of my best friends. New York's loss is rest in peace. Here he comes, everyone.
Better get that party started.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what love or friendship is. Not a chance.
No, nothing. This is your farewell, Scott. Don't let the door hit you on the way. Don't hit you in the ass on the way out the door.
By the way, TV shows out there.
Friendship.
Exactly.
Here's your guy. He's coming.
Just like Steve Grillo left to go to L.A.
Yeah, an unpaid fucking intern and barely got slave wages when he did leave, left the show. Like, this is a real comparison. A fucking intern as opposed to one of your fucking producers that you couldn't pay enough to stay on the show. Because let's be honest, if what's his name, Einziger was getting paid more bank or the same amount of money he would have got at The Amazing Race, he never would have left.
No, nobody leaves something they enjoy and are comfortable with and are good at.
Bingo.
If they don't have to.
No.
But
or
if you're going to make more money and you get to go to sunny California to do it, goodbye.
As opposed to living in, I
so
don't know.
long, farewell.
Exactly. Yeah. Sorry, what? Were you singing the Sound of Music?
Yeah. Yes.
I didn't know which part were you singing. Were you singing Friedrich or Liesel? All right.
Hey, Howard, don't you have to do the news?
Don't you have to race Jackie to the unemployment line?
Hey, Howard, do you know they're roasting Scott at E today?
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh,
They have a little-
Really?
I hope they take
I didn't
it.
know that.
I guess you do now.
So that was the remix for the E show. They're gonna remix Scott's farewell on E Day.
That's a hell of a scratch.
Oh my goodness.
I might show up for that.
And it's time for the news.
And it's also very late in the show, so let Robin do some news.
You know, one of the things that happens when a person dies, Scott, you don't have anything to sell, but George Harrison did. And they already say that over in Liverpool at the beach.
This is the equivalent of pissing and shitting and using someone's corpse as a fucking football.
Jeffrey Dahmer treated dead people better.
He at least consumed them. At least he got nourishment.
The irony is so not lost on me.
Buffalo Bill treated the chicks. He skinned better than this.
Oh my God. Scott Norwood got better treatment in Buffalo. I'm done.
Jesus.
Beetle store, the Beetle shop in Liverpool. People have been coming in, and there's been a brisk business selling Harrison and Beatles music and collectibles today. Number 13.
Really? Brisk business. Hey, you know who could sell that stuff?
Stephen Bailey.
Maya. Okay. Who's this, Stephen Bailey?
Yeah.
You never, ever leave any part of the fucking dead buffalo alone. You're going to...
That's
pretty
your
soon...
best friend.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine someone came in there and just kind of ripped him and Beth apart, or him and Allison apart, and just destroyed everything about them. He'd be in the fetal position for 20 days. And then they'd have to put an IV drip in him with almond milk.
Oh my God. Let's just play her Letterman appearance for the first time. Please.
Exactly. God, I don't know that I don't know, but we do the video. I don't know that the screen can capture the jazz hands quite well enough for people to fucking keep their
jazz kites, picturing as plain hands.
Jesus, those mitts. There's an SCTV sketch, I'm going to bring it up, where Dave Thomas plays Michael Caine in a movie called My Bloody Hand, and it's just him with this huge black man's hand. And it's huge. It's massive. It's still not bigger than Beth's. I'll try to get a video of it.
You know what it's like? It's like that, the perception of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and you're the small people. And they're like running around on the kitchen counter.
Oh, fuck's sake. Oh my God.
And just comes in shot.
Yeah.
You're going to talk about business.
We've already had people coming in asking for George albums who I've never seen until today. Yes, it will happen.
Weirdos who like collect stuff when someone dies.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
The thing is because it helps you remember somebody. I think everybody thinks it's going to be worth something at some point. That's why they run and buy it up real quick. Of course, the war in
Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Isn't this the asshole who saved everything to think he was going to run a museum about himself?
He's got his own hard rock cafe in his basement.
Afghanistan continues. They're bombing the last Taliban stronghold, but Mullah Omar has exhorted everyone that this is their opportunity.
I think this might be the end of it. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Good news, guys. That war Robin's talking about, we're still in it. After 20 fucking years. So, just letting everyone know that hasn't gone away.
FYI, yeah.
Become martyrs.
Wow.
So,
sounds great.
They don't sound like they're giving up.
Yeah. Here's a job Scott Einziger could get. Martyr.
Job openings, martyr.
After Amazing Race, he became a martyr.
So they look like they're going to go down.
I was correct, guys. I left it that length for a reason. I don't generally fuck up those clips, and I guess that's why I left it that long. Because there had to be another Scott put down somewhere in the news.
We had to reference the Taliban and tie it in with Scott somehow.
Robin, what next? Hitler's remains have been unearthed. Yeah, you know who else killed Jews? Scott Einziger. I mean, he's going to find a way to crowbar him into any negative story now. Anyway, so that's...
The Challenger blew up.
Apparently Scott was behind the controls.
He was filming the whole thing. It's his fault.
Oh, jeez. Guys, guess you've heard about Jonestown. Guess who supplied the Kool-Aid? Bianca fell in the pool. Scott was supposed to be looking after her. Oh, God.
John Lennon died.
You've heard of Scott David Chapman Einziger, haven't you? He was going to autograph my copy of 50 Ways to Rank Your Mother, but, I just...
Who was driving in a convertible with no top on in Dallas?
Anyway, guys, I'm not sure exactly when this one is going to come out, but it'll come out when Howard does, I suppose. But we're going to make a series of these because there's at least 2 or 3 more, and a couple of them can be condensed because some are shorter than others. The Stuttering John one alone is a bit of an epic. So I don't know when we'll get to it.
I'll have to get my turntables.
Maybe like Carl Cox. I think, guys, thank you so much for listening to the show. Thank you for a wonderful 2020. We only started in the beginning of February, but the month of December, something like 7,000 downloads on Podbean alone. And that's not counting the YouTube channel, which, by the way, is the second channel. The first channel got nuked, and there were I can't even tell you how many thousands of hits that one got before it was unceremoniously dumped. But thank you so much for supporting us through the year. All the new Patreon supporters as well. God bless you. If it's, as I said before, guys, even if it's $1 a month, it all helps. So if anybody wants to throw in the guitar case, little coins, whatever you got, wonderful. It all goes towards the show and to getting us some bacon and cheese, pepperonis, like from Domino's once in a while. So we thank you for your support. God bless you all. We hope everybody's safe and happy and makes the best of 2021.
Yeah, I really, on a serious note, and though that rarely happens, I do want to thank all of you for all the sweet, kind comments when you guys say that, 2020 was awful, but at least we had this. It's the same for us. We didn't know 2020 when we started this was going to be some global pandemic and just bullshit. I mean, no. Seriously, no idea when we started this 2020 was going to go so crazy. So I'm really grateful for all of you for listening and for participating in all of it. It makes my life so much more fun and hilarious. And I love you guys. I do.
Yeah. And on behalf of Raven, Carrie, Wayne, Derek, Sean, when he's able to be on Radio Karate, which we're going to have another episode of that pretty soon.
God bless Bob D. You know what? Fuck Fauci. Bob D. He's my man for the year.
Bob D. And like everybody that contributes, we have a load of people suggesting shows on Podbean as well. Certain things directing us to clips that we might never have stumbled across, and we appreciate all the help and all the comments, guys. So please join in weekly on our live chat premieres on Sunday nights, Eastern Standard Time, usually 8 p.m. and Sunday evenings. Anytime we got things like this, this is a little longer one. This will be a Sunday night show for sure. But the mini-sodes, we're still going to be doing those as well. And we're due a letter mailbag thing as well. So lots of stuff coming at you.
So keep suggesting in the comments. We like the suggestions. We might take them. We might, put them on the shelf. Yep. But we love them.
Yeah. And there's so much, there's vast, now that Howard signed for 5 more fucking years, there's going to be no shortage of breakdowns. And I hope it doesn't turn us into nuts, more nuttier than we already are. So I hope everybody stays safe and healthy, and we'll try our best to make you guys feel happy wherever you are. So thank you. We love you.
Bye, guys.
Take care, guys.
So many of these people, almost all of them that we see, are so poor and they are so black, and this is going to raise lots of questions for people who are watching the story unfold.
So black.
If they had been less black,
you know what, Halle Berry
cause as many problems.
Halle Berry would have survived.
Right. Why couldn't we have a town full of Halle Berry?
Look at our goddamn